All right. Welcome to the Week 5 SPNHL talk recap and round one playoff show, everybody. I have a full house here of wonderful playoff representatives for their teams to go over how their teams are going to be doing in these playoffs we got coming up. But of course, let me do the rundown. I am your host tonight, Cuban. And with me tonight, I have the representative of Toronto, Jamie Ben. What up, Ben?
Yeah, what's up?
I have with me also the new fan favorite and one of my best cohorts, Mr. Pistol Pete from Boston. What up, Pistol?
What's going on, boys?
And then also bringing up the rear here, we got Mr. Polar, the representative of Pittsburgh. What up?
What's going on?
My boy Polar.
My boy Pete.
Yeah, I love it already. And then representing Calgary tonight, Sports Geeks got some VG stuff going on. So I asked him to give me a guy that'll be able to come on and represent his team. And he put you out here, Mr. Tommy. What up, TT Tommy?
What's going on, guys?
Welcome to the show, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And then we got on the West Coast, the best coast, from the LA Kings, representing his team as always, Mr. Chico. What up, Cheek?
What up?
Our
Really
boy
crowded
Chico.
tonight, man.
What's going on, man?
Really crowded tonight.
No, it's
Hopefully,
not that crowded.
Well, it's crowded for me. We used to be like only 4 or 3 people.
Well, it's going to be crowded because it's a crowded playoff picture. And now the picture's been cleared up, and now it's time to start playing some playoff games. And then representing the Vegas Knights, I didn't really ask Serge because I know who runs the team. I went right to the boss man himself, Mr. Plisk. Let me play the boss man in. What up, boss?
How's it going?
Your team walking into the playoffs. I would say falling into the playoffs, but you're there.
Yeah, it's a stumble for sure.
It's the dark horse.
Hey, man, you make it, you make it.
So, obviously, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. I know you guys kind of have your round one matchups ready, and as I'm calling it from Friday, Forfeit Friday. As there was nothing but forfeits going down. Polar couldn't field a team, forfeits. Islanders, of course, haven't fielded a team for the last week and a half, forfeits. St. Louis, with the entire free agent roster on his roster, forfeits. New Jersey Devils, guys getting drunk, forfeits. New York Rangers, forfeits. Like all over the place, you got forfeits. So Forfeit Friday, I'm dubbing it, and it was pretty much a meaningless week for most teams anyway, except for Colorado and Dallas, which pretty much fought tooth and nail, and it came down to Dallas-Colorado matching up on Friday night, and Dallas taking that and clinching the final playoff spot there. So congratulations to Shep and his guys. I talked to him today. He's having a little bit of issues and wasn't able to get anybody on. But congratulations to Dallas and Shep and getting that thing righted up and back into the playoffs.
Avenge didn't want to come on?
Avenge never could get into the Google Hangouts. When I would ask him when he was in the playoffs a couple years ago and he was in the finals and I wanted to get him on the show, he couldn't get on the show. He didn't quite have the capability through the Hangouts.
He's too old to figure it out.
No, I don't think it's a too old thing. He's comfortable, man. He's a comfortable dude. He likes doing things his way. So that leads us, into these playoff matchups. I have the playoff screen up. I'll do a screen share real quick for you guys so we can take a look at this and then break this down. So here we are. Here's the playoff breakdown. You got Ottawa versus Boston. Now, before I get any further than this, Plisk, I was told that the New York Rangers and Anaheim had the choice of facing. Like, we're not reseeding. They're just going to face the winner of that bracket.
Yep. Yeah, once the brackets are set, they're too difficult to change. I have to basically go back and switch them around, and it'll look like it'll say Boston versus Toronto instead or something
Right.
To get them in the right spots, and it won't look right. So I told them they could just pick the winner, and they picked which series they want the victor of.
I see. So New York, New Jersey have buys. Anaheim, Chicago buys. We got Boston versus Ottawa, and the winner going to play New York. Then the next bracket, you got Toronto and Pittsburgh with the winner facing New Jersey. Out west, you got Dallas versus Calgary with the winner going to Anaheim. And then you got LA versus Vegas with the winner going to Chicago. So that's the current breakdown for the playoffs this season. And congratulations to all you guys for making the playoffs. I know the season was pretty long. I wanted to just touch base and say to you guys, great job on finishing out and getting it done. So what we have here is I'm going to go with the Vegas LA series first. And pretty much let's start with you, Plisk. I was looking at some of the stats, and you guys have yet to beat LA this season. So what do you think your team has to do to just compete in this matchup?
There's a lot of things we need to do, but I don't think it's going to happen. We need our top guys, and right off the hop, 2 of our top guys aren't going to be available till Friday. Sorry, one's not available Friday. One's not even available this week. So we're basically already shooting ourselves. So it's going to be a quick one, I think.
Way to go in there confident, bro.
Well, there's confidence, and then when you have a season like we do, man, it's just you know what to expect. There's no
Realistic,
excitement.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing that stuck out to me is, one, that you didn't win any games against LA when I was looking through this. The other thing is that the score differential was quite lopsided each matchup. And I didn't get into details about who was playing who. Obviously, it's just a snapshot of the season and of your series. And the team has changed a bit from, of course, week 1s and week 2s to week 5. But it was a consistent, 2 to 3 goal differential for LA every time they played you. So I know, just looking at that, they probably feel a little bit confident. I don't want to say they're overconfident, but do you think that'll play into your hand a little bit, hopefully, that you can maybe steal a game or 2 and stretch this series out?
We might be able to buy us a victory. But like I said, I want to get more hope, but there just isn't going to be any.
Who's not going to be able to play for you guys?
From what I know, Escape hasn't said anything yet. Steelers isn't available till Friday.
Oh, that's huge.
Rambo's not available at all.
Yeah, he's not good until Fridays when I talked to him, because I was thinking of adding him on, but his salary's too high.
Bush is potentially not going to play this week. He said
We might be looking at forfeits.
No, we'll skate 6. We got 6, but it's just we have everyone who we put on the ice to give us the best shot is not going to be available.
Damn.
So it's gonna be a quick one.
Chico, on the other side of the coin here, your team has pretty much dominated this series, and after just hearing what Vegas is going through going into the matchups, what's your team looking like going into this series?
We're just happy to play, to be honest. I feel like our team is just happy to play, and this is just another step to, getting closer and getting even more chemistry.
Let's go behind the scenes to what Chico said. Vegas is lucky to go in 5.
Well, the thing is that, as you said, during the season, either even if we traded players or we brought in new players, score never changed.
Right.
So I don't know why my mindset would change.
Well, it just maybe overconfident. You don't want to, you know what I mean, look ahead, because now, if you win this series, you're playing Chicago. There's no doubt to that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest. I'm looking more into Anaheim, but we'll stay with Vegas.
Oh, this guy's jumping.
Yeah, it's nothing. Nothing's wrong to think ahead but right now I just wanted to get his mindset, and he's looking at Anaheim, and I don't blame him. I mean, you're gonna have to. The road's gonna go through Anaheim in the West anyway, and if you're that confident in your team and you're obviously looking pretty solid in the matchup. I feel like
the toughest matchup in the whole West for us that we've seen is Calgary and Chicago. Those been really tough games. I don't know what's with the system of Calgary, and Chicago just has a lot of good players on their team.
Our games have always been like close ones.
Yeah. Calgary and Chicago that's the two teams to watch out in the West for me, to be honest. Anaheim, Dallas, Vegas. We had easy.
It's Calgary, Anaheim.
Sorry?
No, Calgary's going against Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the winner of Dallas-Calgary gets to play Anaheim in round 2. So
yeah.
So right now, Pete, we'll start with you since I know you're a little hands-on right now. At Los Angeles, Vegas, who do you see winning the series?
It's a hard one. No. Should be
I appreciate that.
I think Chico will come up ahead again, and I think Chico has a good chance to make it all the way to the final.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we'll just stick with LA.
I will say
Vegas.
5 games.
All right, so we got LA in 5. We'll move over to Ben. What do you got going with LA and Vegas? What are your feelings?
I'd say LA in 5.
LA in 5. All right. Polar, what do you got?
Chico in 4.
Chico in 4. And Tommy, what do you got?
I got LA winning this one. Whether it's 4, 5, 6, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm with the LA. I was surprised when I did look at the head-to-head matchup with the two teams, and then 2, the score differential. I'm not saying like it's going to be a sweep. Obviously, it's playoffs, and depending on availability, which we just heard say that their team's skating 6, doesn't know where they're playing. They're just coming out with 6 guys. So I feel LA's going to take it either in 4 or 5 as well. But best of luck to both you guys in your matchup. Obviously,
Is that time for Serge and Pliss to separate next season? Dun, dun, dun.
No, I highly doubt that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Break it up! I told you.
Snap!
Well, hold on. It's only because Serge before this season said if our curse didn't end, he'd step down as GM and probably stop playing hockey. So I don't know if he's going to stick to that or not, but I guess we'll find out.
Oh man!
Damn!
You guys should separate and have.
I'm gonna have them both live on air to break up to everybody. So that'll be interesting. I'll tell you what, everyone's gonna be watching.
Which game? The LA and Vegas or Surge
no,
and Plisk separation?
The Surge and Plisk separation.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If that's sitting on the counter when I'm going out through the checkout line, I'm buying that magazine. Will Plisk leave? Will Surge finally take the plunge? We'll find out on next week's episode.
It probably will be next week's.
So, moving on to the next series, where both GMs present. I have Toronto and Pittsburgh. We got Mr. Jamie Benn here from Toronto representing, of course, and as I said, Mr. Polar. This series has been more of a tooth and nail type, with Toronto having the slight lead in the head-to-head matchups. But as of late, the bad blood between both your teams have been well stated and documented in chat boxes. So I'm asking for a little more of a civil dispute here, gentlemen, going into this matchup description. I will start with you, Ben, and your Toronto Maple Leafs. How do you feel you're going into this matchup?
I feel like if our offense plays the way that they should, we should have no problem putting up a lot of goals on them. Our biggest issue the series is probably Slim being out Monday and Tuesday. He's our best left defenseman, but I still feel like we should have no problem with him being out.
Well, I know we had talked a little bit earlier, and I had said this, that your forward line's offensive awareness, second to none. You guys were leading scoring team this year. Granted, you gave up a lot of goals, but you guys offensively have a prowess and an awareness around the net to just always be in the right spot at the right time. And I told you that, your defensemen actually aren't really much of an issue. Like, you guys play defensively well. It's just the EA goals at times and the goalie play a little bit sometimes get you guys in a little bit of trouble. Yeah,
we have so many goalies that it's just like inconsistent. We don't have one goalie that was able to get into a rhythm.
Right. But I mean, that's a huge part in the playoffs. But if you can overcome that, obviously, with the goals that you guys are able to score, it makes you a formidable opponent on the ice. Going on the other side here, Polar, how are you feeling about this matchup and your team going into this matchup?
Team's confident. It really depends on how the availability works out. Monday's not my top lineup, but it's not Toronto's top lineup anyway.
Well, that's been the case all year, so that doesn't matter.
We shouldn't really have a problem against Toronto.
Well, do you feel that the matchup, I looked at this and I see it going either way, honestly. It really, with the Toronto goalie play and then with Pittsburgh, I can't really solidify like your lineup.
Feel like Penguins are more well-rounded.
Yeah, like
Toronto's offense. Toronto's offense could be up there with the top of the league. That's why they're not where.
Well, the offense is the top of the league.
That's why they're not up there with New Jersey or the Rangers in offense. It's because they're not a well-rounded team.
Our last two games, if you look, they beat us 11-1 with a goalie who couldn't move, and then we came up with our lineup.
The goalie was moving. I could see you might have been.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Who gives a shit about that? Who gives a shit? But I'm talking throughout the season. Toronto was stellar on offense. You can't get any better. Those three chemistry-wise, they're great.
Yeah.
But the why they're in the standings that low in the East is because of they're not well-rounded, or it's goalie, or it's the defense. I don't know, but that's why they are where they are.
I've had the pleasure of playing them numerous times, and I will say it's not their defense. Their defense has not been the issue.
Slim, Shady, and Mansell know very well how to play defense.
Slim has actually surprisingly played very well, and Mansell's had an amazing season on defense. Surprisingly, because I know he's a great goalie, but defensively he played very, very well. And when we've played against you guys throughout the season, it's been the goals have been because of the goalie. I wouldn't say they have no goalie; they just don't have consistent play from their goalie position, from my opinion, from watching during the season.
We've had, I think I tried to count earlier, but I think we've had 7 or 8 different goalies played through for us throughout the season.
So, with that being said, that's a huge part. Obviously, going into the playoffs is a little bit more consistent play, and if you guys can figure that out, obviously, I feel you can win this matchup. But on the other side, they have consistent play with Polar there in net. The question for Polar is, one of them chemistry-wise, will they be able to keep up with the forecheck of you guys and keeping the puck? Because you guys do a great job keeping the puck too.
Like I said, we shouldn't have a problem with Toronto.
Whoa, confidence.
That's okay. Listen, he's
Montreal boys, bro. Confidence.
We shouldn't have a problem with Toronto.
Well, I will say this: I'm looking forward to playing either of you guys on the second round.
That should be a good series.
And it's going to be a great matchup. Pete, who do you have in the Toronto-Pittsburgh series?
Well, it's a very tough one. This one is actually tough. It all depends if Polar could stand on his head or not. If he makes the big saves, they have a chance to win. But to be honest, I think Toronto wins because their offense is way too good.
I will go now. It's the same question to you, Tommy. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that the Penguins take the series. I think Slim not being there Monday, Tuesday is going to really hurt him. And I don't know, maybe Penguins in 6.
I like that. Chico, I know the answer, but I'll ask anyway. Who do you got in the series?
I feel if Pittsburgh, the roster could keep it together and not blow up if they lose like 1 or 2 in a row or something. If they can't, they stay calm and everything. I think they're well-rounded, better off than Toronto, and they go possibly 7 games, 4-3 for Pittsburgh.
Plisk, same question.
I think Pittsburgh has come a long way. I think they put together something powerful that we didn't expect to see after the start they had. But I think that is going to end in round 1. I think you're going to end up losing it in 5.
I'm on the Toronto train. I think that the offensive prowess. I think Monday night's going to be the key for both teams, and whoever has the lead on Monday, which I think,
like I said, whoever falls apart.
Well, it's not a fall apart. It's who can recover without having their best guy that they need. Like Toronto needs Slim and Pittsburgh. Polo, who are you missing on Monday that's not going to be there for you?
Ajax game 3.
So you only have Ajax for game 1 and game 2?
And Red game 1.
But you have you have one of your best lineups for game 1, but then after that it switches.
Yeah.
Where Toronto's without their best lineup.
Do you want to go lineups to lineups or no?
I don't even
No, because it's going to change.
I have to play defense on Monday.
And it's going to end up changing because today's no can turn into last minute yes, and now all of a sudden guys are playing. Honestly, just overall, I just see Toronto, even though they're down Slim, still having a better edge with their chemistry and the way they've been playing more.
So if Slim's not in, who's replacing him?
Typically would be Ush, but Ush is also not available Monday, so we picked up a free agent. And if that doesn't go well, then I might drop back at D.
Oh, shit. I might change my prediction now.
Hey, you ever see me play D?
It's not about you going D. It's just the chemistry. You leaving forward leaves him on the weakness on right wing.
Tyler can handle it up front. Yeah, I think Tyler can handle it up front by himself, to be honest. Nothing against Ben. Nothing against Ben.
By himself.
No, I agree with that.
He's a stud.
Tyler gets slept on.
Defense behind him too.
Tyler gets slept on, and if anything, Ben will easily get into the mix real quick. So I still stick with mine. I'm going to say Toronto.
From Manzo, can play. So
can or can't?
He can play Monday.
See, like I said, lineups just switch just like that, guys. So, but still, I'm going to say Toronto in 6. I think this ends Tuesday night, and Toronto is going to be moving on to the next round.
Fuck, no love for Polar, man.
It's not a no love for Polar. I mean, just consistently looking at the roster play, and there's a reason we play a whole season, man. Like, you got 41 points versus 56 points up. This winning going on, and even though they gave up all the goals they gave up, they did outscore everybody in the goddamn league. You put a couple of teams together, you know what I mean? You put a couple of teams together at the end of the year, and they still don't score as many goals as these guys. But then again, you can take those still bottom 3.
When our goalie's clicking and our defense is playing well, we could shut down like top defensive teams.
Well, you'll definitely get the chance in the playoffs. I'll tell you what. So. With that, we'll go into the Calgary and Dallas series. I have reached out, like I said earlier in the show, to Shet. and tried to see if we get anyone on. We couldn't. So Tommy, you're here. We'll get your perspective of how your team, you kind of limped into the playoffs record-wise, Tommy, and Dallas is really ramped up. So going into this matchup, the momentum, in my opinion, is a little bit on the Dallas side. But how is the locker room and how are things in Calgary going into this?
You know what? I did not play on Friday night, and I was really disappointed because I had suggested I wanted to play because I knew 3 of those games were going to be huge for our team. And I ended up going out, and I got asked to play later, but I couldn't. So I did not play. But when I was seeing we lost those first 2 to Dallas, Colorado, I was scared. Like, I thought we were just going to choke it. But you know what? The locker room, we got a bunch of good guys. We all play together. And you know what? I think that shouldn't matter because it's going to be a good series.
What is your guys' availability of the rosters looking like? Do you know? Has sports told you? Do you have an inkling of any like guys that aren't going to be able? Like, I'm pretty confident that True and Red will be there, and then yourself and sports.
Well, I'm going to be there for all. I'll be available all 7 if he needs me. True, I know Red has been kind of iffy on Monday and Tuesdays, but I'm sure he'll be there. And as for the rest of the people, I'm not too sure. Sports hasn't really reached out to me.
So,
Bob the Builder, mute. If you have to,
How do I mute?
Pete,
sorry,
click
bro.
on your face, press mute.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, the team that you guys, well, just in general,
That's not what you see.
I still have the screen share up, right?
Yeah.
You guys see your Google Hangouts, but everyone else is watching the screen share.
You pressed the wrong button, just the other one. On the left side.
The one that looks like a microphone.
Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone now, but
your camera's gone, but the microphone, you have to click on it.
How about now?
I gotta love it.
You can still hear me?
Yeah. Sadly, I can still hear you.
Here, I'll take care of it. All
right, mute me for now.
I will, buddy. Don't worry. I'll take care of you.
The fuck you doing?
Because I've been watching tons of George Romero movies and I've fallen in love with that genre, and I was like, oh, there's so much more you can do with this genre that hasn't really been explored.
I think he muted himself.
Called Planet of the Zombies. I was like, oh, God, this is and I said, look, zombies.
It's good radio right here.
Live TV, everyone.
Yeah. Behind the scenes. This is what really happens.
Pete's out here building a dresser.
I think we went to overtime with you guys, right, Tommy? Well, you weren't there, but we went to overtime Friday. I think it was the last game. Thursday.
Yeah, I saw we got put with you guys in the flex, and I'm like, shit, we got to beat you guys. I know you guys are always a tough team, so I got scared. And that we won was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good game. How did you guys do against Anaheim this season?
Anaheim, I think we are 1-2 against.
Really?
But the game we won, we blew them out, but Jaddy wasn't there. So I guess it wasn't a good reflection. But we did play a hell of a lot better than them that game.
We lost our host. We don't know where our host is.
Every great movie, it's every great TV show. It all comes from comics. And there's a wealth of interesting stories behind the scenes of all the people that make.
Literally, our host left.
There you are.
I'm muted. I was muted.
What a bad host! Just leaves us.
Well, I was trying to take care of Pete's little technical difficulty of banging his hammer. So we got Dallas, Calgary. Ben, who do you think wins the series?
I guess at Calgary.
And then we got Polar. Who do you see winning?
I had Dallas originally, but then I realized they gave donations to Anaheim, so Calgary's winning.
I did not understand a single word you said.
I
Can you get a little bit closer?
had Dallas,
Right.
but then they gave the donation to Anaheim, so
Okay.
I have Calgary in 6.
Calgary in 6.
That
All right.
donation, though.
Donation. I don't understand that, but that's fine.
I think he's talking about the
You don't
trade
get
at
it?
the deadline.
No, I don't get it.
Come on, Cube.
I don't.
Come on.
I don't see that much of his donation.
Yeah, me neither. Chico, what do you got in the series, Dallas Calgary?
Calgary has been a tougher matchup for us. So than Dallas was, and I have much respect for Avenge. So I'm gonna put in 6 for Calgary.
Calgary in 6.
Yeah, 4-2.
Plisk, what do you see in this matchup between Dallas and Calgary?
I see one team going straight up the standings, the other team going straight down the standings. Like I give this one to Dallas in 6.
I'm with you, Plisk. I see the same thing. I see the same trends. Nothing against the Calgary Flames, Tommy. It's just the momentum with Dallas and Shep and the lineups. And I think this series is going to be an amazing, amazing series. I'm actually surprised that Reap wanted to play the winner of this because I think either one of those teams that go against Anaheim, I think give them more problems than a Los Angeles or a Vegas. But I think if they face either of those teams, they'll win there. I think they feel that they'll be confident going into the Western Conference Finals. But Dallas, Calgary, I see Dallas winning it in 6 as well.
It'll be a great series.
It will, and I look at the goalie play. If Holdfast plays as consistent as I've seen him play, it actually makes that series a 4 or 5 game series. But it all depends on availability, obviously, and what Shep has to put out there. So,
Dude, put the hammer down for like 30 minutes.
What's that?
Just tell Pete, put the hammer down for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, now Pete, you're gonna get unmuted, buddy. I need you here because we're gonna talk about your series, bud. So I'm gonna start bringing you back here to life. Pete, you there? Pete.
Yeah.
There we go. Give me your Dallas Calgary prediction, and then we're gonna talk about you in Ottawa, bud.
I will take. I know Sports Geek is a choker, so I'm going to take Dallas.
Oh, it's all right. Keep adding fuel to the fire.
Bang, 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 bang. Shot.
No, I mean, the rest of the team is super good. But I remember facing them a couple of years ago, and I think he's just going to choke under pressure.
You gotta wait until they choke versus Anaheim. You can't wait now. Like
you gotta wait, and you're gonna see if Dallas talks trash to Sports Geek before the series, it's all over.
Oh no, I won't allow that. No.
You can't
I
put
mean, you can't
gotta get
sports in a glass jar, bro. Man. You can't put them in a bubble. So what we got now is Pete, your matchup versus Ottawa, bud. The very tight contested series between both of you guys when I looked it up. Ottawa holding the slight edge, 3-2 because you guys actually played again on the flex. So within your little series, you're pretty much guys are neck and neck. Like I don't know who wins that series. How do you feel with your team going against Ottawa now in round 1?
Well, it's definitely going to be a tough series. I mean, all the games have been 1 to 2 goals, except for that 5-2, which we gave up at the end. But my team's coming together. I think if we just play our game and play a smart defensive game, we could shut them down because that's what we have to do. We can't go and try to outscore them.
Yeah,
and I think we
you got to stay to your game plan. I mean, that's your thing. Like stick to what your team does best, because when we played you guys were playing really, really well, and then once you gave up like 1 or 2 goals, things started getting a little bit shaky, and instead of
It
sticking
became
to
the
what you were
Habs
doing,
in real
you,
life.
you started trying to do more than you had to. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let 1 or 2 goals dictate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, if you guys stay focused and don't start trying to do too much, I think you have a chance in this series.
Oh, I definitely think we have a chance. I think we're going to win it, and I think we're going to win it in 6.
I like that. Ben, what do you think about that?
I think Boston has a favorable matchup. They've been playing a lot better towards the end of the season, and I think I have them in 6.
Polar?
I got my boy Pete in 6.
Tommy?
I got Ottawa in 6.
Ooh.
I just
Tommy,
think
you
the
suck.
rosters got better. Nah, you suck.
But it's not about the roster. It's about
I
which
think they got
team
the
is going to
better
play the proper game.
I feel like every single time we played Ottawa, they've absolutely spanked us, and they're a tough team. You guys have also beaten us by a fair margin, so it'll be a good series. I got Ottawa in 6.
Chico?
Thing is, I have much respect for Pete too, and I have no respect for Dirty Tricks. So as much as his team, both teams are very equal. Much respect to Sergeant Vandos, but he's very streaky, and 1 or 2 goals could maybe light his ass on fire, and Boston could start running up on the score. That's for sure. Because I don't see the defense of Ottawa holding up Boston, especially with Pistol P and Kubiton.
So you got Boston in
I possibly have Boston in 6.
Boston in 6. Boss
Yeah.
man, who you got?
I think both teams are way too close to be a blowout on either end. I think if you can take 3 wins there, Pete, you can take them in 7 for sure. He Tricks tends to panic after 2 games. Third game, if you beat him, he's basically down and out. So you could finish him then. I think you guys will get him in 7.
Go ahead, Pete.
I like your predictions so far, except for Tommy.
Well,
Hey, man.
I've played
not here
both
to be
those
liked.
teams, and Pete, your team's given us the harder challenge every time. Even like earlier in the season, and then even when you done changes, and even the game that we ended up beating you by a few goals, that was a 1-goal game until like midway through the third period, which we were like, we need to get 1 or 2. It's just one of those things, Pete, that I just tell my guys, I'm like, look, it's hard to score now, but as soon as we get 1, it'll turn into 2, it'll turn into 3, and we just got to keep going, because if we don't break the seal, this team's going to beat us. And you guys always play us tough. Ottawa, a little bit different. Not so tough to score against.
They look like the Toronto Maple Leafs of real life.
I kind of think Boston's going to win this in 5. I don't think it's going to go as far as most people is. No, I'm being honest. I think availability is going to play a little bit of an issue with Ottawa, but I think at the end the defensive play and the goaltending is check marks to Boston, and I think Boston's going to win this in 5. If it goes 6, I mean, yeah, I'm just being, the odd man out here. I want to do Boston 5.
Love you, Pete.
So
yeah, good job, boys. Good predictions.
So there it is. The predictions for everybody. I appreciate it. Let's switch gears here a little bit, and we're gonna go into the final power rankings, gentlemen, to close this out. Next week there will be no power rankings, obviously, because it'll be all done. So here it is, week 5.
Yeah, it'll be the trophies.
Yes, we'll talk trophy talk. See if Bossman can get on.
We don't need it.
Not much change in the rankings. Up top, obviously, New York Rangers, followed by Anaheim, followed by the Devils. And then we got a little switch here. I got Chicago finishing out 4th and LA dropping down 1 spot, finishing out 5th. Just on the last week of play, Chicago's been a little more consistent. Then we got Toronto holding down 6th again. Dallas with a huge week, jumping up to 7th, up 3 spots. Pete, your team drops down 1 spot, going down to 8th. Then we got Calgary, then Ottawa at 9 and 10. Then I got Colorado coming in at 11th.
God damn.
Then I
We're
dropped
still down there.
Pittsburgh with a wonderful 0-3 Friday, forfeit Friday. Did not help his favors, and they dropped all the way down to 12th. And then you got the Vegas Knights at 13, and then our bottom 3, Montreal, and then the move of all moves. We're moving St. Louis up 1 spot.
Oh my God!
I'm so happy for them. Hell yeah.
We got him in 15.
I put him 14.
Well, how does a team manage to get 0 points in the season?
No, that was just a miscalculation.
No,
and then we have seeds. We have seeds. New York Islanders finishing off the season at the 16th spot. So,
have you heard if he's coming back?
I have not heard that.
Okay, I'm just asking if he's coming back.
Have not heard that. So there we have it. The power rankings for the season and everyone's playoff predictions for round 1. Obviously, I appreciate everyone coming on tonight. Next week, we'll have the winning GMs of the round 1 matchups and then the GMs of the bye week individual teams here or representatives, depending on if the GM wants someone on or if they want to come on themselves for the week that's coming up. So I want to just thank everyone for coming on. And Tommy, thank you for being on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Good luck in your series, bud.
Thanks a lot. Take it easy, boys.
Pete, good luck in your series, bud.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for being on tonight.
My pleasure. I'll be back next week after we win.
Boss man, I appreciate you being on. Of course, the invitation for next week. I want to do awards on the show.
Yeah, we can. Maybe the one after probably better.
All right, so we'll wait one more week for awards, but still, I'll have you on next week.
Yeah.
Chico, thanks for being on. Thanks for being on, bud.
No problem. We'll see you next week. How Chicago's weather is.
We'll find out. And, it's windy. It's windy out here. Jamie Ben, thanks for being on, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Good luck. Good luck to all you fellas in your matchup. I'll be watching. I have the vacation. I'll hit my 18 holes and then swing over to the website and catch some Twitch streams and see how you guys are doing. And as always, guys, be kind to each other on and off the ice. Virtual hockey players' lives matter.
Ciao, bye.